What is going on, guys? Today we're going to be discussing not only the future updates of TF2, what we think the summer update is going to be, and just in general ideas for updates like some kind of stale things like Smithmas and Scream Fortress. And we're going to be taking you guys' request and talk about what you guys want to talk about, and we'll discuss that for you. So I'm joined here by Tom, who's currently, I think, killing some people who have a Bible. Isn't that?
I'm not killing them.
Oh, what you do?
No, I found.
Oh, you found the cave with the dead Bible people in.
Well, I'm the only guy alive in this area.
Oh, so you did kill the Bible people.
No.
And
The Bible people were dead before I got here, and I found the camp. And for some reason, I can pick up all the Bibles people, so that's probably a glitch. I should probably only be able to pick up.
Mine camp. And I'm also
It might be satanic though.
I'm also joined here by the Smash Bro.
Hello. I'm not a 5-year-old.
Both Thomas the Egg Hallam and the Smash Bros channels will be linked in the description. So I don't have a Bible. You can't kill me. You only kill Bible people.
And although I sound like a 5-year-old, I'm not.
Yeah, if the Smash Bros sounds like a 5-year-old,
He is. He's just
he,
a bit older.
he's older than 5. I'm gonna tell you because you guys are
Believe it or not.
You guys are pedophiles. I know it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so first order of business. We'll start with you, Tom. What do you think about there not being any summer update this year? What do you think that could mean?
Well, Valve's being Daisy Cup. It's really because I think because of the turmoil sort of the office politics, say, about
So for you guys who don't know,
how Valve has really managed their thing. The lack of developers and they've said they've been like trying to avoid doing things which suggests that they're not in like a good spot, sort of similar to why Half-Life 3 was.
so for you guys who don't know what the office politics are, effectively the TF team can't really ask for more developers, because otherwise people like the Dota team will ask for more developers, which Valve can't really give them. I don't know why. They're a multi-billion-dollar company.
Well, like if you think about it, Dota's a bigger game.
That
Probably more to work on.
yeah.
And you get more money. So why would you go for like a small project like tf2 to make more?
Exactly.
You can do like Dota.
So I think that there being no summer update this year means a few things. That these are all possibilities. These all could happen. One of them probably will happen. So we're getting a massive update in the time between September and Scream Fortress. Just like the Pyro update, the Jungle Inferno update, where we didn't have any update because they were working on it. But I think that also no update could mean it could mean that we're not getting a good Scream Fortress, or it could mean that the TF team are very focused on Scream Fortress and that we are going to get a huge Scream Fortress or a Smithmas. It could also mean that they're porting TF2 to Source 2, which, if you don't know, TF2 is made in Source, so they might be porting it to Source 2 like a lot of other Steam games. Or they could be working on TF3, the most unlikely of all of these. Or Valve could have just shelved TF2, possibly just for this year. possibly permanently. They could just have the developers working on the other games like Dota, and
That could be the
Artifact, and the VR game. Oh, so Jamie, or the Smash Bro. What do you think is the most likely option?
Probably a bigger Scream Fortress update. I would like that, and more Halloween unusual effects would be quite good. Also, a Smithmas update, like a big Smithmas update, would be really good if they include like unusual Smithmas effects.
Yeah, I agree. Tom, do you have any? Which one do you think's happening? I have the options.
Well, to be honest, I think they're just gonna go same as last year. Be just
A late
sort of cheapo.
a late
Cheapo
Scream Fortress.
and some sort of date. Maybe not heavy, maybe
Yeah.
around October, because it's already late August. It's too late.
We're not getting a summer update. It's the 29th of August.
Late.
It's the 29th of August. We're not getting a summer update
Yeah.
at this point.
I might, at this point, since they haven't really been, I might actually, like just doing anything. Whatever reason, which would mean the update is still in order.
Someone's cutting out enough.
Yeah, Tommy cutting out a lot. Do you want to rejoin the call, possibly?
I don't know. I can't really fix it.
I'm going to try and fix this a second. So, personally, I think it would be best if Valve completely just went straight for the really big Scream Fortress. I think that would probably be the best option that they have right now. Is to completely focus on Scream Fortress. Is to completely focus on Smithmas, because at this point I think the summer update's kind of out the window. It went from being a tradition to being just a complete mess of when it's going to happen. It's constantly being delayed. I think if they treated...
Can I say something about the summer update?
Yeah, sure.
I think it would be good if they did a minus summer update with like one crate with a bunch of different summer cosmetics, like a community case. I think that would be it, but it would be good for instead of the summer update, and then they work more on Smithmas and Scream Fortress.
Yeah, I can, because if you think about it like this, the summer update's kind of out the window at this point. You know, we never know when it's actually going to be. Apparently Valve's calendar is autumn goes to September. It goes to September. Summer starts in October, according to Valve's strange calendar. Sorry. But yeah, I think if you think about it this way. Speaking of the summer update, by the way, if you think about it this way, I think it's much more likely that we're gonna get something other than the heavy update. Not that many people play the heavy. He's not really the most mained class in the game, and there are other things.
Not much in the workshop.
Exactly, there's not much on the workshop, and it's just, I don't think it's worth it for a heavy update. You know, there's other classes that need more updates, and there's other game modes. I think MVM is in desperate need of an update. They haven't updated that since it came out. You know, so many community things that they can do for MVM, and they just haven't. And I also think that they should treat Smithmas more like Scream Fortress. If you think about it, every year everybody's always super hyped for Scream Fortress. You know, you get all these new maps. You get all these hats that you can only wear on Scream Fortress and Blue Moons. Whereas in Smithmas, you know, we get a gift. We get a gift to pull, which, let's face it, everybody sends a crate in it.
Yeah.
There's no exclusive maps. They wouldn't be that hard to make. You just coat it with snow. And that would, honestly, if they added something like, to mix both together, if they had an MVM Christmas update, where if you if they add a temporary crate, or if they add a temporary MVM tour for Christmas only, you have to buy the tickets like normal, but there's a small chance you can get an exclusive Christmas themed Australian or Christmas themed unusual effect only in this tour that happens at Christmas. I think that would make Smithmas one of the best, you know, events ever. Considering what it is now, all you get is a random chance of dropping an Australian and a gift depot and a stocking. Smithmas isn't really considered that good. But if they added stuff like exclusives to the Smithmas update, I think, honestly, it would be much more successful, and it would be much more hyped up. Valve wouldn't even have to do much of the work. I mean, honestly, TF2 is a community managed game. Valve's entire job is to just steal stuff from the community. It's not even steal. They're basically giving it to them, but at this point, I think Valve needs to take more stuff from the community.
Can I just say something about the heavy update?
Yeah.
You said they shouldn't really do anything for the heavy because no one plays it, really. But if they release cosmetics and, more importantly, weapons for the heavy, people would play heavy to try out the weapons, and then more people might play heavy more often.
I'm not saying that they shouldn't do it. I'm saying it shouldn't be a priority. The Pyro update was a desperate needed update. The Pyro desperately needed the balancing, and he desperately they needed to fix all of his flame particles and etc. to make the game actually playable with a Pyro. The Heavy is fine as he is. People just want him to be more diverse, but as he stands, he's alright. He's not that broken. It shouldn't be Valve's priority.
Yeah, I agree.
To be completely honest, it's not their main concern. The main concern should be bringing new players to the game with events like Scream Fortress, etc. And honestly, just hyping up the game. Now, what not getting this update could mean is hopefully that they're working really hard on making Scream Fortress great, and focusing on that more since we didn't get it last year. You know, making the greatest Scream Fortress update they possibly can. Or making an MVM themed update Or maybe combining that with a great Smithmas update.
And I think they could have Smithmas unusual effects, like they did with the Halloween unusual
Exactly, the Halloween unusual effects.
Yeah.
It would skyrocket, it would bring new players and people to the market. And it would help people get into the game, you know, spend money on it, which is Valve doesn't desperately need it. But we do kind of need to show what the community is capable of, that TF2 can still make money for them.
And then maybe Valve would care a bit more.
They probably pour some more effort into it, whereas their games like Dose 2, they're pouring lots of effort into it.
Yeah, maybe we could get more cool items and creative maps.
Just to clarify the Christmas MVM thing, what they could do is they've already got all the models for things like the Yeti. Things like the Yeti that came out in Jungle Inferno. So they could add in new bosses into the MVM stuff. Just like Monoculus and Marasmus. But I feel like, number one, we need some new bosses for things like Scream Fortress. You know, we need new bosses, we need the spells back. And we need some original creative Team Fortress 2 Halloween items. I think that's a must-have. I also strongly think that we need to have more bosses. I mean, the bosses are super fun. Especially just for enticing people into the game, really. You know, one of the first people I saw in this game was Monoculus, because I picked it up when my friend was playing it on Halloween. Didn't really know what it was. Picked it up and saw Monoculus. I had tons of fun. You know? We kind of need a refresher. They already have this boss mechanic. It's not that they need to make a new mechanic. They already have the boss mechanic. You know? It's just about renewing it with new bosses. I think they should also have some new, not only Smithmas themed, exclusive Smithmas bosses, but some Smithmas spells and stuff. They can just borrow some of their ideas that they had at Halloween, turn it Christmassy. It's not that much of a feat. I mean, I've just brainstormed it within like a couple minutes for you.
Yeah.
It's not a really hard feat. But I think that we definitely do need some more stuff for things like Smithmas. I mean, originally, what made you excited about Smithmas? What are people excited about with Smithmas? There's not that much, and Scream Fortress nowadays, they're not making that much like original content for it. They're just like PewDiePie. Just like freaking PewDiePie.
Can I just ask, Tom, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, what's your thoughts on the matter, Tom?
Yeah, it's some cool things. I agree with that. Like, the boss could be something
Like,
to do with the lore, like Noctis and Rasmus and all that stuff. So I think the stat, like, even would be a cool
You're cutting out a lot.
essentially in the actual comic.
I can't really hear you, Tom.
but also, I think that honestly, if Valve only made like the summer update like once every 2 years, but they poured a lot more effort into the Scream Fortress and the Smithmas updates, I think that'd be a lot like much more successful business plan, and it'd be so much more successful for the games. Let's check if we have anyone. Nope. But yeah, I think it was so much more successful if we had that. If we had those in the game. I think it would also be a lot better if we had some more incentive for competitive. That's a big thing Valve needs to work on. I guess we're gonna go on to the what we think will happen with the update not coming. So, do you think at all that Valve are stopping development on TF2 or porting it to Source 2?
I don't think they're porting it to Source 2. I think they're just leaving it on Source. But
I agree. I agree.
I don't think they're hiring. Obviously, they're not hiring any more development or developers for TF2. So the TF team, which is like 4 people, something like that, right now are gonna only do minor updates, and I don't think the Smithmas Screen Fortress or the heavy update will be as good as previous updates.
Exactly. I just think we need some more incentive to come to Screen Fortress, to play Screen Fortress.
I agree.
It's like the spells was such a good idea. They incentivized so many people, and they were actually worth money afterwards. It was a reward if you spent your time gaining those spells, using them on weapons. You got rewarded. You could sell them. They became valuable, very valuable.
They still are.
I think Valve needs to do something like that again. I mean, it's a community-made game. They don't even have to come up with the ideas themselves. They can steal the ideas and people will be really happy. Possibly even more happy than if Valve made the idea themselves. I think also we need to be much more incentive to play Smithmas. I already have incentive to play Screen Fortress, I have my favourite maps that come around, Hell Tower, Lakeside. But what do you get for playing Smithmas? You get a chance to get a festive, and you get a stocking, which has really bad items in. Honestly, they really do need to add some more incentive. I think that should be their priority, instead of pushing out a heavy update.
I think they could have a crate, or they could add this for the stocking, but they probably won't if they do this. But they could do, like they did with the spells for Halloween, they could do the Smithmas spells.
Exactly.
And it could be like...
You could have like frosty rockets instead of the squash pumpkins, etc.
You could have them explode like... I don't know.
Like a carrot.
Yeah.
Like a carrot on the end of a snowman's nose. Oh, I got a message from Pratt Plays. He said, I liked your video and subbed to you. Thanks a lot, Pratt Plays. Thank you so much. That actually does mean a lot to me. We only got 100 subscribers. And honestly, I'm glad you're enjoying it. If you've got anything you'd like us to talk about, then go ahead. Just put it in the chat and we'll almost definitely talk about it. But honestly, I feel like we're either getting, if we get nothing in September or October, except for in Screen Fortress, I would think we're either getting a big Smithmas, or Valve has given up on TF2. They're getting their developers to work on games like Artifact and Half-Life 3 VR and all their VR titles.
And don't get us wrong, we like the other games like Portal and
we love them.
We will get Artifact.
We're gonna get Artifact to stream it as soon as it comes out.
But we like TF2 as well. We want developers on TF2.
Yeah, honestly. I mean, Valve are a multi-billion-dollar company. I don't see why they can't just hire everyone a developer, but I think they do have quite high levels of trust. They need to trust their employees when they hire them. I do understand that.
After they make Artifact, they could send some developers to work for the TF team.
The TF team. Honestly, I think if the TF team keep on, not saying anything to us. I mean, at least with games like Battlefront 2, which is still a horribly managed game, an absolutely appallingly managed game,
And
that we could still get if we just got some feedback, like update coming soon, they could create hype. That would probably be best for the game instead of just releasing the update. If they did what they did with Jungle Inferno, where they released the trailer and then it was a couple days, that built so much hype and brought so many people to the game. I kid you not, I went out after that. I went out of my way to go and buy some stuff so I could get back into the game.
yeah, when the trailer came out, I was definitely really hyped for the.
I was really hyped.
And I remember the meme about the flyro. Long live the flyro.
Exactly. I honestly think that Valve Hello, welcome back. That Valve are really mismanaging TF2. They are definitely mismanaging the game. I honestly do not think we just had to kick Tom. He's not. His Discord isn't working. Anyway, I do think that Valve are majorly mismanaging. Honestly, if the TF2 team did stuff like they say, for example, in the matchmaking, they split half the servers into crits or crit, so they have random crits, and then they have no random crits. And then the TF team, waited for a week to see how people felt about having crits compared to no crits. So you could choose it on the matchmaking server, which one you wanted to have. If you wanted to join a game with crits, if you wanted to join a game with no crits.
Yeah,
and then at the end of a 2-week period, they could do a poll and see if people actually enjoyed the random crits better than having random crits, or if they like the gameplay with the random crits better than no random crits. And I think if Valve and the TF team did stuff like that, then they could push out some majorly big updates.
yeah,
So much better.
because I know that you personally, you sometimes get quite mad at random crits.
Yeah.
Because it is just luck. You could literally get a kill from luck.
Exactly. But I do enjoy getting them.
Yeah.
They do break stale bricks. That's why they're in the game, stalemates. I know that they've added a lot of weapons that can probably do that a lot better.
And Ubercharge.
But still, they do break stalemates and stuff. They do allow the game to progress.
Maybe they could lower the chance of getting a random crit.
But then they'd have to fiddle around with all the crit weapons. Honestly though, I do think lowering the chance of getting a random crit would be a much better option. But secondly, I think that they should, be more interactive with the community, do a trial period where they have half the servers with random crits, half them without. At the end of a month, do a poll, or 2 weeks, do a poll, and see if it should be in the game. Just we know that they're capable of doing this. That's how the power update came about instead of the heavy update. We know that Valve can do this.
And they should interact with the community in general, not just with random crits. They should just communicate more often in general. And maybe they should ask what kind of stuff we want to see in the game.
Exactly what I'm saying. Honestly, I think TF team need to continue, talking to the community.
Is there any other topics?
Yeah, I want to talk about what happens with MVM. Because that's still a big thing. They need more updates for that.
At Smithmas, they could have like robot Santa hats and robot elf hats or something.
Exactly, they're locked. They're locked into MVM's Smithmas. That'd be promotional, but I mean, if you had to decide like a purely MVM update, what would you like to see in that?
There could be, like the alien update, there could be an MVM map that's got like alien stuff everywhere, and instead of the robots, they're like aliens that try to invade you, and they have like they have the laser weapons instead of the normal weapons.
Exactly, yeah.
Like the Cowmanger and the Kappa. And like they could have custom laser sentries or something.
Yeah, exactly. I think regarding the heavy update, do you have any thoughts on that, Jamie?
I think, and we already kind of discussed this before, I think they should have a minigun or a shotgun or a melee weapon, probably a minigun, that has like a slower spin up time, but you get a bit more health regen or something, and give the heavy more variety, because right now it's really hoovy or heavy, whereas Demo Man,
yeah, the heavy has like no variety of weapons really.
like the Demo Man can be a Demo Knight,
he is really not a diverse character,
and the Pyro can be a Pybro, the medic can be a healing medic or a battle medic. So the heavy is just really hoovy or heavy.
or Fat Scout.
Or Fat Scout, which really isn't that good. So yeah. Any other topics to discuss?
What?
Any other topics?
Yeah, I want to talk about what I think. So I think if they do end up bringing up the heavy update, just like the Pyro update, mid-October, it comes out late, because clearly Valve's calendars are not right calendars. They are not the correct calendars, or whatever they are. I think they need to avoid what happened with the Pyro update. The servers being absolutely just crowded, full of pyros. It was impossible.
But the thing is, how are they going to avoid that?
Well, the thing is, they kind of only provided like pyro stuff, didn't they? They had all these contractor missions, and everyone was doing the pyro ones. I think if they were to do it again, they should include some other weapons for the other classes. Because heavy isn't the most broken class like the pyro was. They just need to include a couple miniguns, and at least because everyone was running around with the Dragon's Fury, wrecking everyone.
And some people like grinded the contracts and got special pyro items before other people could. And then the other people tried to go pyro, but then the other people have the items and can just kill
especially if it's horribly broken like the Dragon's Fury. Then I think they could avoid it, because if you think about it, they've taken the same amount of time, but they already have things like the Contracker. So they do have more time to make more weapons. So because with the power up that they added one primary, everyone was using that one primary.
And a secondary and a melee. But the melee was
the main problem I had was the Dragon's Fury.
One problem I had is I still haven't got the hot hand, because it's kind of hard, and I understand to like
It's meant to
some
be hard.
things it should be challenging in games, but maybe like there's other weapons, like another melee weapon. That was the only new melee weapon for the pyro they released. Maybe there's another melee weapon for the heavy that's easier to get, but it's not as good as the other.
Well, no, it's more of an achievement, isn't it? Though, if you wave around your hot hand, well, at least back then it was, because
Yeah.
it's really hard to get all of the achievements. But I think they need to avoid what happened. And honestly, I think next year they need to be on time with the summer update.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you know, the tradition of having an update in the summer is kind of dead. I did not see where Saxton was then. They need to avoid what happened. They need to make everyone more diverse, do more things to stop what happened, and add more content, and not be late with what they had again. I think that is what they need to do.
Should we talk about maps now?
No, I think we're going to leave it there.
Okay.
If you guys ever want to see anything like this again, you know, leave a like, comment down below. You can go and check out the Smash Bro. His link is in the description. This is going to be uploaded as well. So if you ever want to listen to this is intended to be kind of a podcast. You put this on in the background if you're really interested in your TF2 updates and our opinions. And if you ever want to see this again, you know, leave in the comments things you want us to discuss with each other in the next stream. Later today, I think we will be having a stream with the Smash Bro.
Yep, I've got a few questions for
But
Chris
it's
and Tom.
gonna be much more light actual gameplay,
Yeah.
other than just me playing it. But I think that I think that's it for this time, guys. So I'll see you next time, and
Bye.